Imagine quitting after just one match. Sounds unreal, right? Not for John Toshack. For him, that was just another day. He was for his fiery feuds and sharp-tongued comments and brought a whole new level of intensity to the game. Toshack's time as manager of the Welsh national team didn't exactly start off smoothly. In fact, it ended almost as quickly as it began. After just one game, which ended in a 2-1 loss to Norway, Toshack decided to resign. He didn't hold back in explaining why. He felt that the players weren't fully committed, and on top of that, he blamed the Football Association of Wales for getting too involved in things that should have been left to him. He was frustrated with how the situation had played out and felt like the team wasn't fully behind him. It was clear that his time with Wales wasn't going to work out the way he had hoped. Toshack, being the straightforward guy he is, wasn't going to stick around if he didn't feel like he had the support of the players and the FA, so he walked away. But if you think that was the only drama in his career, think again. When Toshack took charge of Wales again for a second time, things didn't get much calmer. One of the biggest stories to come out of that period was a public row between Toshack and then FAW President Phil Buck. The issue, Toshack's decision to pick players based in England for the national team, which sparked what became known as Grahamgate, a controversy involving Manchester United star Ryan Giggs. This just added more fuel to the fire, creating even more tension between Toshack and the FAW. Fast forward to more recent years, and Toshack's knack for stirring up trouble hasn't really faded. He found himself in the spotlight once again when he publicly criticised Gareth Bale's behaviour at Real Madrid. He didn't sugarcoat his words at all. Toshack called out Bale for his on-field disagreements and the gestures he made towards his teammates, saying they were both unprofessional and disrespectful. According to Toshack, this kind of behaviour wasn't just an issue for Bale, but reflected poorly on the whole club and its fans. His comments really got people talking. A lot of people began questioning whether Bale was truly giving his all for Real Madrid. Was he as committed to the team as he should have been, or was there something more going on behind the scenes? Throughout his managerial career, Toshack has always been known for speaking his mind, not caring for how offensive he might sound. Whether it's calling out players, criticising referees, or even questioning the decisions of the clubs and organisations he's worked with, his straightforward approach has stirred a lot of drama. He's the kind of person who tells it like it is, which some people appreciate but others find it hard to deal with. His boldness has caused tension over the years. Some players didn't take kindly to his tough words, while club officials and fans sometimes felt his comments were too harsh or poorly timed. Toshack's journey through football is nothing less than groundbreaking. His story began in the streets of Cardiff, where his natural abilities first caught attention. While still at school, Toshack earned a spot on the Cardiff boys team, playing alongside future footballing legend Terry Yorath. By 1963, at the age of just 16, Toshack had already made a name for himself, scoring in every match he played. In fact, he broke the team's scoring record with his 33rd goal in just 11 matches, helping Cardiff defeat Swansea 2-0 in the Welsh Schools divisional final. His incredible form didn't go unnoticed, and he was soon selected to represent Wales at the under-15 level. But Toshack's rise to prominence didn't stop there. In 1965, at just 16 years old, he signed with Cardiff City, his hometown club, for a modest $12 a week. Sounds unbelievable, right? With an $8 appearance bonus and a $4 win bonus, Toshack's contract was humble, but his potential was enormous. At the start of his career, he was tasked with cleaning the boots of Cardiff's star player, John Charles. Despite his rookie status, Toshack quickly proved he was ready for the big stage. In November 1965, he made his debut for the senior team in a match against Leyton Orient, coming on as a substitute for Graham Coldrick. Toshack wasted no time making an impact, scoring on his debut in a 3-1 victory. At just 16 years and 236 days old, he became the youngest player to ever play for Cardiff City, a record he held for 41 years until Aaron Ramsey broke it in 2007. Toshack's debut performance was so impressive that manager Jimmy Schooler immediately promoted him to the starting lineup. That is a pretty rare achievement not everyone is capable of. Toshack made an immediate impact by scoring twice in a thrilling 4-3 victory over Middlesbrough. It was a fantastic response to the pressure, and it showed right from the start that he was ready for the big stage. In his very first season of professional football, Toshack managed to score 6 goals in just 9 appearances, an incredible start to his career. Over the next few years, Toshack firmly established himself as a key player for Cardiff. His skill and potential didn't go unnoticed, but he wasn't ready to leave just yet. At the age of 18, he rejected a $70,000 move to Fulham, feeling that he needed more experience before making the jump to the First Division. Instead, he stayed at Cardiff, where he could continue learning under manager Jimmy Schooler. It was a decision that paid off. In 1968, he scored his first career hat-trick in an 8-0 win over EBW Vale in the Welsh Cup, and in the 1968-69 season, Toshack netted an impressive 31 goals across all competitions. He also scored 3 goals in the Welsh Cup final against Swansea City, making him the top scorer for Cardiff that season. His time at Cardiff was marked by incredible performances, and by November 1970, he had scored his 100th goal for the club in a UEFA Cup Winners' Cup match against French side Nantes. However, after this milestone, Toshack's career took a big turn. Despite the Cardiff City Board's reluctance, Toshack moved to Liverpool for a then-club record fee of $111,000 in November 1970. This was a decision that would shape the rest of his career. His transfer to Liverpool was far from smooth, as Cardiff's manager Jimmy Schooler and board member George Edwards opposed the move. Despite their objections, the decision was ultimately left to Toshack, who chose to join Liverpool. The move came after Liverpool's attempts to sign Huddersfield Town forward Frank Worthington had fallen through due to a failed medical. Toshack made his Liverpool debut just 3 days after the deal was finalised, in a 0-0 draw with Coventry City. His first goal for Liverpool came a week later in the Merseyside derby, where he scored the equaliser in a 3-2 win over Everton, turning the game on its head. In 1976, Toshack hit new heights with Liverpool, winning both the league title and the UEFA Cup in what turned out to be his most successful season. He was in unstoppable form, finding the net 23 times across all competitions. The following year, he added another league title to his collection, but injuries began to take their toll, limiting his time on the pitch. A potential move to Belgian club Anderlecht for $60,000 was on the table, but it fell through after medical tests revealed calcification in his muscle tissue. Realising his playing career was nearing its end, Toshack made the tough decision to negotiate an early release from his Liverpool contract to start a new chapter in football management. Toshack transitioned into management with enthusiasm and a desire to make a mark. While his first approach to Cardiff City was turned down by then-manager Jimmy Andrews, who doubted Toshack's readiness for the role, fate had other plans. Swansea City chairman Malcolm Struhl reached out, and soon after, Toshack became the youngest manager in the Football League at just 29, taking charge of Swansea City in March 1978. From the outset, Toshack made sweeping changes. He improved players' diets, reduced alcohol consumption, and modernised travel arrangements for away games. His efforts paid off immediately, as Swansea earned promotion from the 4th Division in his very first season. However, the celebrations were bittersweet, as his assistant Harry Griffiths passed away from a heart attack before the season's end. Toshack humbly credited Griffiths for laying the groundwork for their success, calling the promotion a tribute to his late colleague. Building on this momentum, Toshack convinced several former Liverpool teammates, including Ian Callaghan, Phil Boersma, and Tommy Smith, to join Swansea. With their help, the club secured a second consecutive promotion in 1979, moving up to the 2nd Division. In a dramatic final game against Chesterfield, Toshack himself scored the winning goal after subbing himself onto the field. Swansea's rise didn't stop there. After a steady mid-table finish in their first 2nd Division season, Toshack led the team to the 1st Division in 1981, an extraordinary achievement, given they had been in the 4th Division just a few years earlier. Their promotion was capped with a Welsh Cup victory, the club's first in 15 years. Even footballing legend Bill Shankly praised Toshack's accomplishments, calling him possibly the manager of the century. The 1st Division debut was unforgettable. Swansea stunned Leeds United with a 5-1 win, featuring a hat-trick from record signing Bob Latchford. Despite predictions of relegation, Swansea soared, even leading the league at times. However, injuries to key players like Latchford and Ray Kennedy slowed their momentum, and they finished 6th, a highly respectable result for a newly promoted side. During this time, Toshack was rumoured to be in line to succeed Bob Paisley as Liverpool manager, a role Toshack openly desired. However, Paisley stayed longer than expected, and the position eventually went to Joe Fagan. Unfortunately, Swansea's fortunes declined in the following years. Financial difficulties and back-to-back relegations led to Toshack's resignation in 1983. Although he briefly returned, the club's financial struggles, partly due to the heavy spending during his tenure, forced another departure in 1984. Toshack's managerial journey then turned international. This was surely one of his biggest milestones. He joined Portuguese side Sporting CP, leading them to a second-place league finish in his sole season before moving to Spain. At Real Sociedad, Toshack found success, winning the Copa del Rey in 1987 and finishing as La Liga runners-up in 1988. These achievements caught the attention of Real Madrid, who appointed him as manager in 1989. At Madrid, Toshack faced intense pressure but delivered a historic La Liga title. His team scored a record 107 goals that season, making them only the second side to break the 100-goal mark at the time. Despite this triumph, a poor start to the next season led to his dismissal. Toshack returned to Sociedad, taking on an advisory role before resuming management. In 1994, Toshack briefly managed the Wales national team, but resigned after just 47 days, citing political tensions and a lack of preparation time. To be fair, it's still better than retiring after just one game, isn't it? He returned to club management with Deportivo de La Coruña and later joined Turkish side Beşiktaş. Though he led them to a Turkish Cup win, clashes with the board made his tenure turbulent. In 1999, Toshack returned to Real Madrid but struggled to replicate his earlier success. After publicly criticizing his players, he was dismissed. This pattern of short yet eventful stints continued, with roles at Saint-Étienne, Catania and Real Murcia. In 2004, Toshack took charge of Wales for a second time, embarking on a long-term rebuilding project. Despite facing criticism and a wave of player retirements, he focused on nurturing young talent. Many of the players he developed, such as Ashley Williams, would later help Wales reach the semi-finals of UEFA Euro 2016. However, mounting pressure and disappointing results led to his resignation in 2010. Toshack's career then took him to Macedonia, where he managed the national team for a year, and Azerbaijan, where he led Khazar Lankaran to a Super Cup victory. He later managed Moroccan side Wydad Casablanca, guiding them to a league title before parting ways in 2016. His final managerial role was with Iranian club Tractor, which he left after a brief stint. From his playing days at Liverpool to becoming one of the youngest managers in the game, his story is filled with both incredible achievements and tough challenges. But Toshack's career wasn't all smooth sailing. He was known for speaking his mind, which sometimes led to clashes with players, fans, and club boards. His time with Real Madrid, Wales, and other teams had its share of ups and downs, but his passion and belief in his ideas never wavered. And that's a wrap for today's video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to stay updated with all our latest content.